Left my bipolar disorder girlfriend after 3 years of relationship. After 2 months, we hooked up, said she had the best sex of her life, was supposed to grab a drink the week after. She flaked. I went back to no contact. Thoughts if I want her back if she works on herself.
Follow seven principles, get an X back. The likelihood of her fixing herself is very low. And even if she did come back after you broke up, you should not be pursuing her. You should be letting her do 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing. It sounds like what you did is she reached out, you got together, you hooked up, and then you restarted your pursuit of her. Well, that's the opposite of what Seven Principles to Get an X Back says. So you're not following the instructions in it. So if it's not working for you, and you reached out a week later and tried to set a date, and then she rejected you or blew you off, well, that happened because you're not following what I teach. So it helps if you follow what I teach.
But
Erica said, I'm very happy about the interest rate cut.
Who said?
Erica?
Erica.
Yeah.
Oh, because Sportscast asked, what do you think about the interest rate being cut?
It's a good step, but we're probably, who's it? Scotty Besant? I can't say his name. He's the Treasury Secretary. I think he's doing an awesome job. They were wanting something like 200 or 300 basis points, which is basically 2 or 3 percentage points drop. I think the Fed rate was like 4.75, 4.5 before they cut. So a quarter point ain't much, but it helps. And then I think they're going to meet one more time before the end of the year. They may drop it another quarter point. I mean, the bottom line is borrowing costs get cheaper. And as borrowing costs get cheaper, more people and companies will borrow money and borrow money into existence, basically, and then they'll spend it. And as the money, because the money supply has been growing, as Professor Hankey says, about 4.5%. And as he says, it should, to keep the economy stable, be growing at around 6.5%. That's, in America. It's the percentages are different for other countries. So we're still, the money supply has not been growing fast enough. So it will be good overall for the economy. Will it help the real estate market? Not really, because they blew up a bubble and the numbers don't work based on the current interest rate. So it's a step in the right direction. If I pull up the market, let's see. Tesla's up, Palantir's up, nice. Getting close to its all-time high again. Let's see here. What was the all-time high? We got to like 186. So it's almost back up there. I got in that on average at like 22 a share, which that's been a nice stock for me. It's nice when you buy a stock and it just goes within a year or two. So overall, I'm looking at the stocks I have invested in my portfolio, and ooh, wow, lots of green. Nice. So it's a good thing. That's what happens. So the Fed lowers the rate, Wall Street goes, yay, the money supply is going to expand. And so therefore, guess what? The stock market goes up. Because one of the things that people do is they take margin loans against their stock portfolio to buy houses, to buy cars, to buy more stock on margin sometimes, because the cost of borrowing is getting cheaper. They may borrow money against that to put into a business or invest a business. And so as more people borrow money and spend it, the money supply expands. Just like the federal government borrowing money into existence, because the Federal Reserve just goes and types it on the keyboard and poof, magically the money now exists. And they spend it into existence. So anything that increases the money supply is good for the economy. Now, doubling and tripling the money supply in like a year or two, like they did during the lockdowns, is fucking asinine stupidity. And I kind of suspect deep down when Joe Biden was in office, the people that run the Federal Reserve System and the oligarchs thought, there's too many people talking about MMT, modern monetary theory. And so let's just really fuck that theory up so we can say, oh, that doesn't work. And let's double the money supply in 2 years. We'll get inflation and we'll create bubbles. And then people will go, oh, well, I guess we were wrong about modern monetary theory. What really matters most, and one of the things I like about Professor Hankey, even though he's a far lefty, is the quantity theory of money. Any of you guys have seen Economic Prosperity for All? And if you haven't, it's on my YouTube channel under documentaries. You should watch it so you understand how it works. The quantity theory of money is what matters. The money supply expands, so does the economy. If it contracts, the economy contracts as well. So whether you like it or not, the government borrowing more money and spending it into existence grows the money supply. Now, it's reckless to double it in a year or two. I never expected that to happen, but the damage that it caused now enables the people, the talking heads, the oligarchs to go, see, it didn't work. We can't do that. Well, you can't double the money supply. But at the end of the day, when the money supply expands, the economy expands. When it contracts, the economy contracts. And you can look at over the last century and see that that's totally accurate. What happened during the Great Depression? The money supply severely contracted. And so the economy contracted. What happened during World War II? The money supply expanded dramatically. And that got us out of the recession. And when everybody came back, everybody was flush with cash. And guess what happened? We had the baby boom. We had the boomers. And so that's all the people like my grandparents who were very young when the war was over. They got married, started having kids. And my dad is one of the baby boomers. And so for about 20, 30 years, there was just a huge expansion in the population. Because all those young people that came back for the war and saw those horrible things, we're flush in cash again. We got an elastic monetary system. And as it expanded, so did the economy. And anytime the money supply contracted, the economy contracted.